Last week I was telling the story of the Titanic, and I got asked, have you ever made that into a video blog? So I thought about it and thought, no, I haven't. But it's ironic because we do really believe that every individual responsible for the creation of a sound financial plan and legacy plan should understand the story of the Titanic, as it is a great example of human pride and arrogance gone wrong. In April 2012, one of the greatest tragedies occurred in the world of sailing and transportation and has become known as a symbol for many things over the years that have passed. For the last 10 years, we have used it as a symbol for the unthinkable, as well as a symbol for the quality and quantity. This is a principle that we teach, and the reason we do is to remind all of the importance of lifeboats. There are three major reasons why so many lives were lost in the tragedy of the Titanic. The first was that it was built from the rivets that were constructed from poor quality B or C quality steel. At the time it was built, there was a competition underway between many of the industrialized nations of Europe to build the largest, strongest, biggest, and fastest ocean-going vessel possible. There was a drain on the supply of the best quality steel, and as a result, the builder of the Titanic chose to purchase the B quality steel, not knowing that when you put the cheap steel in the frigid North Atlantic, it became brittle and rigid. Metallurgical engineers today have estimated that had the Titanic been constructed with the A quality steel used for some of the plates but many of the rivets, that when it grazed the iceberg, the tremors that rippled down the body would not have resulted in the breakup of the ship for about 10 or 11 hours after impact, more than twice the time necessary for Carpathia to reach the Titanic. Carpathia did reach the Titanic in 5.5 hours, but it was too late because the cheap steel had popped and it went down in 2.5 hours. The second reason so many lives were lost was that it was originally constructed with some 68 lifeboats. The chairman of the board of the White Star Ship Lines did not like the optics of the lifeboats plugging up the promenade decks. Just as many of our prospects initially do not like the optics of cash value permanent life insurance crowding up their portfolios. And so, the chairman of the board of the White Star Ship Lines ordered the promenade decks of the Titanic to be stripped of the lifeboats and reduced to the number, the British Navigational Act minimum, 19 lifeboats. 19 lifeboats, 2,300 passengers. Do the math, it just doesn't work. The third reason so many lives were lost was that because the ship, when it sailed from Southampton to New York, did not have in the crow's nest a set of binoculars. They had been there when it sailed from Belfast to Southampton, but the gentleman who was in the crow's nest pocketed the key and left the ship with the key. A New York Times article commented on the fact that this very key sold for hundreds of thousands of pounds, but the fact that the requests from the bridge to supply the crow's nest with new binoculars were denied. And they were denied because this was the unsinkable Titanic and no binoculars were necessary. The Titanic was sailing in a known ice pack field and it was sailing under full moonlight, and therefore no binoculars were required. It is interesting that the book of Proverbs tells us that pride goes before the fall. So what's the point? The point is we must prepare for the worst but hope for the best. The lifeboats should be built from the A quality steel, not the B or the C or the D. We have seen what happens when the best products are not used, especially in 2008 when individuals dealt with the vaporization of asset bases. We wish to make sure that lifeboats are built from the A quality product, knowledge, and information of the day. Then, once the best material has been selected, they are built large enough to float to safety in order to survive the economic tsunami that strikes and will strike again. Third, we are the professionals in the lookouts of our clients' crow's nests. We are there with a set of binoculars looking out over the horizon, looking at the weather, looking at the season, looking for icebergs that surely are going to arrive on the doorstep of our lives, be it living too long, dying too soon, or becoming sick or disabled along the way. So prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and build lifeboats that will float you and your family to safety.